reads from the script, no jail. If he doesn't read from the script, he gets maybe 5 years in jail.
So
what's the temptation to read from the script? If you are a guy like Cohen, who was a lawyer taping his own client and lying to him about it, taping Chris Cuomo and lying to him about it, stealing money back when he was fiercely loyal. In this transaction that was just uncovered, he kept $37,000.
So let me just ask you, I just want to ask you a question, because the
guy is a complete scoundrel. You can't believe him. I used to like Michael. I am so disappointed.
Your position on Michael Cohen is long established. I want to ask you about, you've just been talking about and suggesting that the special counsel is not on the up and up, that he's trying to get people to say things that aren't true. I want you to take a listen to something President Trump said on Sunday.
He wouldn't say that. No, wait. In fairness to the special counsel, they would say that maybe they believe that's the truth. That's what the adversary process is all about. But don't take it as gospel, because guys have pled guilty, in my experience, the things they didn't do in order to get out of worse problems that they actually did.
In your experience,
happens all the time in the criminal justice system.
When you were a prosecutor, you accepted plea deals from people for things they didn't do?
I'm talking. You're darn right, I would never do that. I'd never do what they did with Cohen and have him plead to a campaign finance violation that, as a matter of law, is not a campaign finance violation. I think that's phony as a $3 bill.
Yeah, but that gives you.
Let me finish now.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about my old office, the Southern District of New York.
Right.
That prosecution guilty plea should never have been taken. And the fact is, if it wasn't a president of the United States, it would not have been taken. If you take that plea, there are 30 members of Congress I got ready for you to prosecute who had the federal taxpayers' money used to settle sexual harassment complaints.
Yeah.
Your money and mine used to do it. That's not a campaign contribution. They should all be under investigation now. Why aren't they? Because he is treated differently and unfairly.
I have no problem with that. Let's do it. Let's bring that on. I want you to take a listen to something that the president said about the special counsel. Take a listen to this from President Trump.
Right. Okay.
I appreciate the special counsel coming out with a statement last night. I think it was very appropriate that they did so. I very much appreciate that.
That's some praise for the special counsel from President Trump.
Me too. I did the same thing. I commended him.
The president has referred to the special counsel investigation as a witch hunt, probably hundreds of times, at least dozens of times. He's gone after the integrity of Robert Mueller and his team. Does this mean now that you and the president accept the credibility of special counsel Robert Mueller in his office?
No, if he does something good, we're going to commend him. If he does something we think is wrong, we're going to, I'm going to defend the president.
Good is something you like and bad is something you don't like, it seems.
Well, no. Well, that's also true for him, right? We have different points of view on this. When he's doing what he's doing to Manafort, I think it's horrible. He's got the man in solitary confinement now for 6 months, and he keeps questioning him and trying to pressure him to say things that are not true. I think that's terrible.
Why do you think Manafort shared that campaign data? Why do you think Manafort shared that campaign data with Konstantin Kilimnik, who, according to the FBI, has ties to the Russian military intelligence agency, the GRU?
But in fact, is a Ukrainian. Two Ukrainians. Originally, the New York Times ran with the story, again fake news, that he shared it with a Russian.
They corrected that. They corrected that.
They did correct it.
Why do you think he shared the campaign data? Why do you think he shared the campaign data?
My friend, they didn't correct that just completely on their own, by the way.
Did you?
Same thing with special counsel.
You weren't working on the campaign at the time. Why do you think? Why do you think he shared that information?
I think he owed them money, a lot of money. And I think he was sucking up to them, sucking up to his clients, making them feel important. The sharing of polling information.
Right.
I'm sorry, other way around. So he wanted to get paid. You're correct. You're correct. They owed him money, and he wanted to get paid. He had a personal relationship with them, independent of the campaign. Should he have done it? Absolutely not. Bad judgment, yes. A crime? Sharing polling data? Give me a break. No way.
Well, we'll see.
People give out that internal polling data. People give out that internal polling data to impress people. They give it out for fundraising. They give it out just to have people on your side. They give it out to affect you guys in the press.
Yeah, I don't know why
he did it. That's what they use it for.
I don't know why he did it.
I don't, but go ask him.
The
president didn't know about it.
You told CNN earlier this week that the only possible crime that could have committed, and which he did not do, you say, was aiding Russia in hacking the DNC. That's strongly disputed. But let me ask you a question: are you saying that it's not?
Yeah, it's strongly disputed by the people who make up crimes.
Are you?
Saying only to go after Donald Trump?
Are you saying
nobody else has ever been pursued?
Are you saying it's not possible for the president to have obstructed justice? That's an impossibility?
No, of course not. The president can obstruct justice. He can't obstruct justice exercising his powers under Article 2 of the Constitution if that's what he's doing, and that's what he did. That's the point of Bill Barr's memo, the simplistic analysis of this is, again, designed just to go after Donald Trump. Here's the point that Bill Barr makes, which I think 75% of lawyers and 90% of constitutional lawyers would agree with. If the president of the United States today fires one of his cabinet members, he cannot be prosecuted for obstruction of justice. He would have to do a corrupt act in addition to that. If he goes up to his cabinet member and says, if you don't do this, I'm going to break your legs,
right,
or I'm going to take money away from you, or I'm going to have your wife put under investigation. Well, now we have obstruction of justice.
Well,
all he did with Mueller is, all he did with Mueller is fire him with the support of Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, who advised it, who is in charge of the investigation. So, if that were a crime, how could he be in charge of the investigation?
So you say the obstruction of justice...
It would be a complete, absolute, unbelievable conflict of interest. The analysis of this is so stupid and simplistic, and you have lawyers that come on this television show, or this network and other networks, and support it, and they should hand in their law degree.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. You're talking about these threats that the president did not commit, and as to why that would be inappropriate, but the president has not done that. The president is repeatedly calling publicly on Judge Jeanine's show, on Twitter. He's repeatedly calling for an investigation into Michael Cohen's father-in-law ahead of Michael Cohen's testimony before Congress. By your own definition, isn't that obstruction or attempting to intimidate a witness?
No. Now, if you made that obstruction, I can't defend anybody.
To say
you're telling me
this guy is testifying against me, his father-in-law should be testifying.
We are so distorting the system of justice just to get Donald Trump. It's going to hurt us someday.
So it's okay to go after the father-in-law.
Now, of course it is. If the father-in-law is a criminal and the Southern District of New York, in the plea, wanted him to go to jail and said he's lying, they don't buy the special counsel's approach. They say he's lying because he's holding back information that is far more damaging than the lies that he's sharing with them now. Now, what's that information about? It's about his father-in-law. We talked about Ukrainians. His father-in-law is a Ukrainian. His father-in-law has millions and millions. Of course it's not. I'm telling you, it comes from the Ukraine. The reason that's important is he may have ties to something called organized crime.
Because he's Ukrainian?
Michael Cohen is refusing. Well, there's an organized crime group in Ukraine, organized crime group in Russia,
crime
organized
everywhere.
crime group.
Organized crime in Brooklyn, organized crime in the Bronx. I mean, you know, that I think that's making the leap.
Oh, well, that's okay. He can have ties to organized crime. They can have bank fraud. That's just fine. When somebody testifies against your client, you go out and you look at what's wrong with them. Why are they doing it if they're not telling the truth? He's doing it because he's afraid to testify against his father-in-law, because the repercussions for that will be far worse, I think, than the repercussions for lying here, because now he gets applauded in New York, where the crazy anti-Trumpers applaud for him. So he goes and testifies. He goes and testifies against some people. Let me finish. He goes and testifies against some people that are possibly in organized crime. They ain't going to be applauding for him when he goes into a restaurant in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. Believe me, I did this for 15 years of my life. I think this guy is lying. It's disgraceful that you're relying on Cohen. It's disgraceful that the Democrats in Congress would put a liar like. And BuzzFeed got in trouble yesterday.
I'm not relying on Cohen
because they relied on Michael Cohen.
I'm just questioning whether it's appropriate for the president to single out a private citizen.
It is
whose son-in-law,
to defend him. He's not a private citizen. He's a private citizen lying about him, trying to get him impeached.
I'm talking about
and
the
I'm defending him. That's the father-in-law. We happen to know, and just go read the Southern District report. The man was involved in criminal activity with Michael Cohen. That's all. And Michael Cohen is withholding it. Because to testify about that would be very dangerous to the father-in-law and Michael Cohen, and instead he's going after the president, which the special counsel and all the liberals are applauding him for.
Mayor Giuliani.
That's what's going on. That is a defense
Thank you for your time.
To a criminal accusation. If we can't do that, we're not in America.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. We appreciate it. We are still in America. I appreciate you saying